I wanted to give it that, you know, go more of a vintage feel.
That's good looking.
Yeah, I shipped it, probably 2-3 weeks after I finished it. I had the case. One of a friend of mine, I had my hand, went up the truck, it slipped, hit the sidewalk.
Oh, it's not in the case.
But it was in the case.
Oh, yeah.
And,
So shipped it out?
well, it's not a hard shell case.
Oh. A soft case or a chip world case?
Yeah, so that,
Well, first world problems.
made me very sick, and I was like, I don't know if I should redo it or not.
No. That's story.
I'll explain an email tomorrow though.
All right, yeah, I'll look at it. We'll go ahead and call the city council meeting to order at this time. We'll start with the invocation by Pastor Doug Harris.
Again, Lord, we're so thankful for these leaders. God, I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for this town. I'm thankful for the people of this town. I'm thankful for the leaders. I'm thankful for those that challenge leadership, Lord. That's why we have the system that we do. That just the checks and balances of that. But Lord, tonight I pray that you give this committee wisdom. I pray there also be peace. Lord, that we can disagree with things, but Lord, we don't have to be disagreeable. And Lord, there would be peace and wisdom would prevail. And I also pray your blessing upon them. In your name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, that's really happy.
We'll go ahead and start with the roll call.
Mayor Jeff Phillips.
Here.
Clerk Treasurer Shelby Keys. Here. Council members Russ Overton. Absent. Kevin Arnold.
Here.
Noel Weiser. Here. Jeff Rayburn. Absent. Ernest Watson Jr.
Here.
City Attorney Todd Sammons.
Here.
Building Commissioner Josh Davis. Absent. Cemetery Caretaker Joe Eppinger. Absent. Fire Chief Kenny Haun.
Here.
Police Chief Matt Anderson.
Here.
Utility Office Manager Heather Smart. Absent. Lead Line Foreman Garrett Walker.
Here.
Park Superintendent Heather Hall. Here. Street Water Sewer Sanitation Superintendent Bryce Black.
Here.
Gas Superintendent Todd Wilson.
Here.
And Assistant Superintendent Josh Eldridge.
Here.
All right, council, you reported minutes of our last meeting. How would you like to act on those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second. There's been a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the last meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. This is time for citizens' comments, that we allow anyone from the crowd to come up and ask questions of the council. If there's anyone at that time, please come forward. Hearing none, we'll move into the agenda. We'll start off with the 2025 Kids Night at Farmers Market. Is that correct?
Yes.
Chief Anderson.
And Nancy is here as well, so if you have any more detailed questions, she might be the one to ask. But it's going to be the 29th, in this month, 29th. I'd like to block off a section of Harrison Street on the south side of the courthouse, basically half the block from the alley to Cullen Street, because there's going to be, fire department's going to have a vehicle out there, we'll have a squad car out there, there's going to be some other activities going on. So just to block off the road so there's no traffic going through and to give the farmers market more space for the activities. So just looking for council permission to block off half of that, half of the road from Cullen to the alley.
Yeah. Nancy, is there anything you want to add?
Not really. I mean, it's just, the event is from 5 to 7. And so whenever they want to bring the fire truck, like starting around 4:30, something like that. So it would be just for a short period of time, and there would still be access through the parking lot and on the west side of Harrison.
Okay. Would it be best, Kenny, to just block off the whole street? I mean, we talked briefly about that.
We talked, I think Nancy and I talked about blocking off the whole street. We decided to leave half of it open for parking.
Okay. If you got enough room,
We'll have enough room if we blocked it off from, was that Goot Wines, that used to be Dumas's,
yeah.
east Collin. we're okay.
Okay.
I'd rather block off both north and the south side of that road, just to keep people from driving through there. But,
Well, just thinking maybe getting council's permission to block off the whole street.
you want to
in case
block
we have
off the
to-
entire road, I
in
don't
case
have a
we
problem
need
with that
to.
either.
Yeah, in case we need more space.
Unless the chief's got a problem with it, I love the idea.
I'm completely open to whatever. I know Nancy, did you think that some people thought there was, did that cause a problem last year with attendance? Did you
Well, a
think?
little bit, because last year we had, the whole street was closed for the Brick Street reconstruction, and it made it difficult for the businesses and organizations, because they would come in from Redson and unload their tables and things, and then they didn't really have a way to turn around and get back out and move their trucks during the event. So I was hoping that we could just block off the east part of Harrison so that they could drop off, get out that way. Whatever you all think is best. I mean, we want everybody to be safe, but we want people to be able to have access as well.
Bryce?
Blocking off the whole portion from Colin to the county's alley there, because weather dependent, Rutson may be under construction with concrete repairs at that point.
What? That's not good.
It's scheduled before that, but if weather doesn't cooperate and we get pushed, there's a couple of approaches that need to be repaired there.
Forgot about that.
Okay, well,
And they were talking about coming back that week.
This should be back the week of fair, which should be the week before. Right, Josh? Well, what's the date?
21st. The year 21st for prep, 23rd, or 22nd, 23rd concrete. Unless town and country is able to strings. But the conversation didn't go in that favor when I talked to them today.
All right.
well, can you just let me know, because we could, I mean, it's difficult, but we could get people in from Van Rensselaer, there by the post office parking lot, and out that way, but they can't come in off the Cullen, because that's the farmer's market.
All right. Council, what do you want to do?
Half the street is what they're recommending, right?
Right.
So they want
Right.
the rest.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve closing half the street.
Second. All right, been a motion and a second to close half of Harrison Street between Cullen and Van Rensselaer Street for Farmers Market Kids Night on July 29th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, we're ready to go. All right, 2025 Water Service Replacement Bid Award. Bryce?
We'll let Andrew, he's got the letter in front of you.
On June, thank you, Mayor and Council. On June 23rd, we had received bids for the Water Service Improvements Project. This is a use of some remaining funds on the project. The low bid was from Rex Construction Company. Commonwealth has experience working with Rex and also has called some of their references and found those to be positive. The bid from Rex was $801,500, and the intent is to utilize contingency funds to the extent that they are available to do this project. We do not have $801,500 in contingency funds available. We have less than that. So the request is to accept the bid from Rex, but I think that should be set up in a way that subject to Attorney Sammons' concurrence, basically to make an award that is up to the maximum amount of contingency funds that we have available on the project. It is all unit price work, so to the extent that we don't perform service line replacements, we don't pay for those service line replacements. So we would manage the project so that we only utilize the funds that we have, not expend additional dollars on the project.
Okay.
Some of that's not in there. That's why I wanted to add it, because there could be some confusion related to
I
the
didn't
dollars.
see it in there now. That was my question. I'm like, I don't have that much.
Yeah, so as long as Attorney Sammons feels that that's an acceptable route to go, and I know I'm putting him on the spot, so he can reserve his judgment for later if he'd like, but that's the route we would like to go.
One question, Andrew.
Yes.
We have an RPR also on this.
I believe that we will have an RPR on this. I confirm.
Remember if we did or not.
Typically, anything that's SRF funded, we have an RPR on.
Okay.
As long as the contractor's willing to work with those parameters, then I don't see a problem with that.
I expect that they will be, but if they're not, then we'll move on.
So this would be up until what we have left.
Yes.
Then they'll
Then
stop.
they'll stop.
Then they have to go borrow some more money some other time to get that.
Well, in the future, at some point, the lead service line would need to be addressed, but that would definitely be a problem for a different day.
Okay. Well, I think that's the only thing we can do. I make that motion to follow that guideline and to do the land loans.
Up to the contingency money we have left of it.
Yes, sir.
Anything to add? Second?
I'll second this motion.
All right, there's been a motion, a second, to approve awarding the bid to Rex Construction for what contingency funds we have left in that project. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next is Resolution 19-2025 on our gas tracker. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. The tracker of 0.3203 is a decrease of 0.0608, so we have a decrease of 6 cents per 100 cubic feet for the customers.
Any questions about our gas tracker?
Make a motion to approve resolution 19-2025.
Second.
Been a motion, a second to approve Resolution 19-2025, our gas tracker. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is Resolution 21-2025, transfer of funds.
This resolution is for a transfer within the general fund for a total of $3,200.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 21-2025, transfer of funds.
Second.
Been a motion, a second to approve Resolution 21-2025, the transfer of funds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next would be ordinance 12-2025. There was not a position for a part-time person in the mayor's office, and we're going to be in need of some temporary or / part-time people in that office. So this was just designed to create a part-time position. It's not one of my favorite things to do, open the salary ordinance in the middle of the year, but I didn't see any way around it. So
I looked through it too, and just about every other department has a part-time secretary position there, so it makes sense.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 12-2025. Do we need to have 2 readings on this ordinance?
Gotta wait first.
On the salary, I would say unless you make a motion to suspend the rules, yeah, you'd have to have 2 readings of that, as far as I know.
good question.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules for 2 readings and make a motion to approve, or make a motion to suspend the rules for 2 readings.
There's been a motion, a second to suspend the rules at this time on 2 readings for ordinance 12-2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Next, do you want to have a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 12-2025.
Second.
Been a motion, a second to approve ordinance number 12-2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, council. And we also have a FMLA request. I don't know what else we need to talk about.
We received a request for FMLA.
That's just information for us. Okay. No action?
Do we have to
No,
approve?
yeah.
Oh, you need action to approve it, okay.
Make the motion to approve the FMLA.
I'll second.
There's been a motion, a second to approve the FMLA request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, council. Next is the mayor's holiday request. And the request for the mayor's holiday was December 26th of 2005. I just want to get it out to the council and get your approval.
What day of the week is that?
It is Friday, I believe.
Christmas, not Thursday.
Makes sense to me. I'd make a motion to approve the mayor's holiday on December 26th of this year.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the mayor's holiday on December 26th as requested. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Next is a burial rights request.
There is a request for one space within the 2002 edition of the Weston Cemetery.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve the burial rights request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next would be the claims approval.
I make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the claims that were presented to the council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Do I have any unfinished business in council? Do you have any that you can think of? Any committee reports? We'll go to administrative comments then. I don't really have any. I appreciated the work of all of our departments working on some emergency situations last week. It's unfortunate dealing with some aging infrastructure, but we also talked with NDOT about this. All of a sudden, we're taking new towers for a windmill from southern Indiana all the way up to Gary, but we're going down 231 and just thought it was coincidence that they started doing that, and we had a water main issue. So they're going to check the weight limits on some of those and make sure they're within the parameters and that they're not the ones causing us an issue. I'm sure it couldn't have been our aging infrastructure that was the problem, though. But we tried to take some steps into it. And I think all the departments had to work together, given what happened to both Front College and McKinley. And I was very, even though I was on vacation at the time when I came back, it was good to see all the departments working together to try to get that project completed and safely completed. So, thank you guys. Yes, sir.
I had one other item, Mayor. We received an email from the IFA SRF related to the lead service line PER that was submitted. They had indicated that the city is within the fundable range for the funding. They did not specify yet what that meant from a funding package standpoint, but similar to what happened on the LTCP project that we're getting ready to start, this is kind of the first step. So they've asked for us to identify a quarter within which we would close if we were to proceed. I believe that we will likely start to explore what that funding package might be, bring that back to the city for consideration once we know more about what this opportunity may be. But at this point, it's just positive to know that we are within the range of what's being considered for funding.
And just for clarification, that's just on residential lines, that wasn't main.
Unfortunately, Mayor, it is, fortunately, unfortunately, it is lead service line related dollars, not aging infrastructure dollars, unless they are aging infrastructure that is entirely made of lead, then it would qualify.
Okay, that's worded. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the information. I saw the email today, and just hopefully we'll get together this week or next week and try to figure out what their parameters are, and we'll report back to the council as soon as we hear. Thank you, Andrew. Kevin, do you have any administrative comments?
I'd just like to thank the employees as well for all the work they put in last week. I visited the McKinley break a couple times, and seeing those guys out there hot, sweaty, dirty,
I didn't stand too close, but they're probably smelly too. But I appreciate everything that you guys do. Nobody was complaining, everybody was in a good mood and doing what needed to be done, so it's nice to see that with our city employees. So thank you.
Anything else?
Just a job well done on teamwork and collaborating too with local businesses and trying to get parts that you needed, and I saw that Remington helped out too, so it's just good work. Appreciate the teamwork.
Did you want to set a date, or did you want to talk about that later? Or try to go over some policies and procedures? I don't know if you...
Yes, so we're working on setting an executive session for the employee handbook policy procedures, looking at possibly Friday afternoon, but I have to wait on one confirmation. That's what we're looking for. Friday afternoon at 2 possibly.
All right.
Hopefully
Anything
get
else?
that wrapped up. Yeah. Nope, that'll be it.
Mr. Watson?
I was glad to see y'all make that move to get them in earlier with the heat that we've been going through. So that's a good move.
Starting at 6, a number of you.
But it was hot at 6. Good move though.
All right. Anything else?
Today.
Shelby?
I don't have anything.
All right. We'll start with superintendent reports then. We'll start with Chief Anderson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to recap, their update on cruise night, no major issues, just the typical stuff we deal with every year, the reckless driving and things of that nature, but nothing alarming. There was a motorcycle crash at McKinley and Cherry, but that was after like an hour and a half after I had sent all the officers home, so it was not related to cruise night. A couple of injuries involved in that. To update on the hiring process, the guys are finishing up with their background investigations, then it'll go to staff interviews. Myself and some other ranking members of the department will interview everybody. And then the plan is, before the next Board of Public Works meeting, have the board interview whoever I sent through to them and then make a conditional offer shortly after that. So hopefully we'll have somebody sworn in, have the conditional offer next month. And then they'll go through some other physical testing, psych evals and stuff, and then sworn in after that at some point. So, and that's all I have.
So nothing more than routine emergencies on cruise night?
Yes.
Okay. Appreciate that. Attorney Sammons, how was that, Chief Sammons? What was blurted in?
Nothing specific to report, Mayor. Sadly, I was not in town for cruise night this year, though.
Unfortunately, I missed it too. I did want to thank you for your work on the water tower project. I know between you and Bryce and I, I'm not trying to describe it, but the project's completed and it's behind us, and it's good to have something finished. So, and thank you, Andrew. You guys, your patience also. I know Ryan was tried.
It was a lot of perseverance, but it's good to be where we're at.
Good, good. Thanks again. Josh, anything?
Just a couple updates. Redevelopment Commission met last weekend. They approved their resolution to accept the lots that you guys approved to give them last week. We did get that recorded today. It was a little bit of fun, but the county did accept that. Then the Redevelopment Authority will meet this Friday at 8 a.m. This should be a quick meeting for them to approve the payment for the bond. There will not be a BZA meeting on Thursday, but we will have a Plan Commission meeting at 5:30. We're just going to review the final draft of the housing plan, and hopefully the next month we will be pushing to have a public hearing to get that approved to you guys. Going to be working to have the door ordinance finalized and sent to you guys for the next council meeting. So if you had any comments on that from last meeting when I wasn't here, please send them my way so I can make sure that it gets incorporated. That's all I have.
Thank you, Josh. Kenny?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to give recognition to Noel. Happy birthday, Noel. I wanted to do that in public meeting so we can On a serious note, the board earlier tonight approved 2 applications for firefighter. I appreciate that. The city truck is repaired back into service as of today. This Thursday, I'm going to attend the windmill operation in southern Jasper County. They're looking at us to possibly perform rescues on their windmills if that is needed. I'm not sure what we'll get into there yet, but last thing, getting geared up for the fair and the farmer's market.
We're just right around the corner, and it's a start this weekend.
Starts Friday night.
We'll do it fast.
So be prepared for the rain.
Yeah, what would that be? All right. Any other questions for Kenny? Garrett, you're up next.
Thank you, Mayor. We've been staying busy with day-to-day jobs, and we'll continue, but other than that, I have nothing for council.
All right. Bryce?
Thank you, Mayor. 7th Street, we have received those plans. They've been circulated to our suppliers so they can start putting together materials lists and pricing for us. Permits have been submitted to IDEM. I believe our water will be our first thing to go as it stands right now, with notice of intent being the end of this month. So and that should be the quickest materials for us to procure with our suppliers. Hopefully, by the beginning of August, we'll see some utilities going in the ground. And then on the I-65 front, we got the second easement executed today, and the third easement was put into that party's hands. So hopefully that'll continue to progress forward. As it stands, we are moving forward as much as we can. Other than that, it was just a long week for those guys last week. And really do appreciate the Circle Supply and the EJPs for sending their guys out of Fort Wayne to help us. I think they got here at 10:30 at night and started doing valve insertions. They got done right as the sun was starting to come up. So very proud of the way they came together and got that done, and appreciate all the local support and Councilman Arnold for bringing us breakfast out there and keeping us moving forward. We're not done yet. We still got a lead service in there that needs to be done, so we'll have to dig up one lane of that again. Hindsight, I would have liked to have gotten that at least out of the road, but we had way too big of a mess to try to tackle redoing that lead at the same time.
Would have been nice if that was rainwater zipping down 231 instead of coming out of it.
It was a nice add to it too, as I look up and here comes a wide load, and decided they were going to go ahead and drive over it. So to watch the asphalt sink about 6 inches, that was trying on the blood pressure.
All right.
That's it this evening.
Any questions for Bryce? Josh, you're up. Tell us all the good things about CCMG.
We're about done. I reached out to our consulting group today and didn't like the answers that I got as far as timelines, so I reached out to Town and Country, tried to get a better timeline. All I could get is that they will be here the 21st to do concrete prep, 22nd and 23rd to do concrete, and the 25th they're supposed to be here to do the asphalt. I did talk to Town and Country. I told them that, we'd really like to get this behind us and move on so you guys can move on as well. They were in agreement. They were going to try to do something with their schedule. Nothing promising. They still have some utility patchwork that we didn't quite get done Friday either. At the time, they told me that they'd be here Wednesday to work on that. That wasn't the case, or isn't the case. So I'm hoping to hear better news tomorrow. As far as the concrete work, some of it was sidewalk that needs to be completed on Elza, and there was some sidewalk and curb that was damaged during the milling process on College Avenue. So, that happens, I guess, but hopefully they'll get in here and get it done and get out of here a little quicker than we're hoping.
But we have good news on one side of the CCMG front, right? On Melville Street?
Yes, we are currently $290,000 under budget. We're hoping to use that remaining money to get the Melville sewer collapse. That road reconstructed and the concrete put back. We'll know more in the coming days if that's the case. It's got a lot to do with quantities, and it's a lot of math that has to sounds favorable, but keep your fingers crossed that it all works out.
Well, it would be nice to get that fixed prior to school coming back into session. That would be great.
Starts what, August 7th?
And hopefully we never have to look under that metal street again for quite some time. Hey, anything else?
Just an update on the recycling receptacles that we placed downtown. They are installed. We do have a couple businesses that I need to visit and see if they can help us. The ones that serve food, some of their materials are ended up in the recycling receptacle rather than the trash receptacle. They can't monitor it, but at least maybe they can mention it when the people exit the establishment. But I'll visit with them this week. And I did get an email today from IDEM. They've opened the second round of funding for a community recycling grant. I wasn't able to make contact with them today. I do have to ask them some questions if we have to have this first grant closed before we apply for the second one. And just discussing it internally, we'd like to start picking up number 5 plastics. So I think we're shooting to use that grant money to buy a baler. Because we currently don't have any extra spare balers, so we need a baler to process these number 5s. And it's a 75-25 match, just like the current one that we're in.
That would save us from going into our budget to try to find money for a baler. So, yeah, mainly I would probably ask council's permission to move forward and try to find some funding for that. You want to do it tonight, or you want to wait till you find out what the numbers are?
I'll do it next meeting, because we have till the middle of August to do the application. So I just want to talk to IDEM and make sure that we don't have to have this first one closed.
Okay. All right.
I like that idea too, because there's a lot of number 5 plastic that costs some trash.
Yeah. The recycling billing really is maxed out, but I think it would be silly not to try to find space and maybe our other big shop next to it for the baler.
That's probably because we'll get some money in return for number 5 plastic, right?
There's this is a good market for it.
Is it really?
What the drivers told, I asked Charmin to get with him, the driver that comes and picks up the materials and takes it up to Homewood. And he said that yes, there is a market for it.
Wow, good to hear.
So we'll see.
All right, thank you.
And I think that's all I have.
All right. Heather Hall, how you doing?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm great. Thank you. I'd like to provide the council with an update related to park events. We will be hosting a ribbon cutting at the newly refurbished South Restrooms at Brookside Park this Wednesday at 11 a.m. I'd like to invite you to attend if you're available. We are planning a workshop on July 30th and 31st with the Rensselaer Urban Forestry Council. It's a 2-day workshop. Day 1 will be taking a walk through our parks, looking at historic trees and talking about the year they were planted and things along that nature, talking about how you can age trees and the techniques for that. And then Day 2 will be the science aspect of the trees, the benefits of these kind of trees, and the craft that goes along with it. We have concluded our youth baseball season. It ended last Friday with our championship game. Men's softball league will wrap up the week of July the 28th. Our tentative date for the pool to close is August the 10th, so we'll be open up to the 7th and close, the 7th, we'll be open to the 6th, close the 7th and 8th, and then reopen that weekend for kids to come after, for their last hurrah of summer. I'd like to make note of the fact that our pool attendance is up this year by about 10 patrons per day. Exciting news. Rensselaer Rotary is going to make a $10,000 donation to Rensselaer Parks to purchase some supplies, some equipment, some things for our pool deck. So before the summer closes out, hopefully you'll see the installation of a water slide, some lounge chairs, and some deck games. So I'm really excited about that. So I'll share more information and we'll unveil all of that stuff at a later time. It's too bad the timing is what it is, but I'm very grateful to have that donation from our group of friends at Rotary. Let's see, our camps at the Hyper Center have ended for the summer. We ended with our grand finale, which is a camp out in the parks. I'm glad that's over. I did sleep there. Well, I use that term loosely. I was there. I didn't sleep. I'm working with Eric Walker from HWC as we continue to develop our Parks Comprehensive Plan, so we'll have a virtual meeting this week to move into the next steps for that planning process. So I'll be in touch as we continue to move forward with that. I encourage you to continue to share our parks survey. We would like to reach our goal of responses, so we'd like to get at least 10% of the population, so please continue to share that until the end of the month. And our friends who are going to install our pickleball fence informed me today that that should take place the first or second week of August, and that will bring that project full circle.
I'm gonna have to start a league.
And we're going to hopefully start a league. Yes, and disc golf league will be starting up again the first weekend of August.
Any questions?
How many respondents have you had to the survey so far?
About 400 right now, and so we'd like to have about 5,000, or 500. Yeah, 5,000 would be great too.
Good.
Oh, and I did have my first meeting with Pat Fox today about little cousin Jasper.
Exciting there.
Yes.
Josh?
Yeah, I don't want to go backwards, but I just wanted to reiterate, when I say that we're $290,000 under budget, if we don't find a way to spend that money, we have to send it back to the state. So just so if anybody was wondering, well, it's a great thing to be under budget, but.
We'll find a way. Something tells me we'll find a way. I'm sure the mayor's got all kinds of projects to spend on that, so. All right. Todd, you last.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Chris Dye passed all this physical tests they had to do, so now we have 2 certified welders in the department. And we have some more service line people are coming in down 850. We have another service line to put in there to work on. And the guys finished the valves up. I've been having the guys and myself, when we go to houses for call-outs, we've been trying to ask people if they're on reach. If not, we've been trying to sign them up while we're there at the end to get a good way to get it out. So I figured that was not a bad idea. We've actually signed up some people on that, so.
Have them fill out the park survey too.
But yeah, other than that, it's just everyday stuff, but that's it. Oh, and the murals are done. So if you would like to come by the gas department on the north side, they were there all week.
It looks great.
It did look nice, actually. I want to try to catch the conductor when he's coming off the Amtrak, see what he thinks, but it'll be interesting. We still haven't got the windows and the lighting in the door replaced yet, but we're close, though. Did you say, Josh?
Yes, I'm not holding my breath, but.
Okay. Okay. Well, at least we're checking on it, making sure we're staying with that. So I appreciate that. One other thing before we go, Council, I forgot to say, Appleseed has their get together for elected officials on Thursday. It's Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning. I thought maybe they emailed everybody else, but obviously I found out that wasn't the case today. So if you're not busy at 9 o'clock, we'd be happy to see you there at Appleseed. In other words, Andrew, at 9 o'clock, I won't be there for a progress meeting. So, not that we've got a lot of progress to talk about. Sure. All right. All right. Anything else that comes before the council? Stace?
Nope, great job with the murals. Thank you for continued support of the art wall.
Thank you for taking the lead on that. I appreciate that. Anything else, council?
Make the motion. In the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.